First off, does Morrison or Bato have anything to say? Like, Bato, do you have like any announcement to make before it?
Well, first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. It is wonderful to see all you lovely people here. It would be even more wonderful to see all you lovely people during grinding sessions. And the last thing that I want to say is just may the best win.
So with that, I'd like to invite every premier candidate. So it'd be Morrison, ZDDK, not every party leader. Let me rephrase. Any party leader. ZDDK, Morrison's, and oh, James is here, or Duck, I guess.
Sicilian also joined. Yeah, James, I'm gonna put you up to stage. People, put your hands down because it's just isn't it just like the premiere right now?
It's the party debate. So like, although that like
The
ZDDK and Soyuz are like like Morrison's or Duck, they're still gonna be speaking about their plans.
ZTK.
Bills, you are not the leader of a party.
Is every party
If you want to come up here, then you need to deposit 60K to
Well,
Thalvian.
50K because
50K, but he's also not paid the entrance fee to actually run, so that's an extra 10K.
yes, that's correct.
That'll be 60. All right. So for the first question of the debate, it's how would you have handled the economic crisis that hit Thalvian after the war? I'll start with going left to right. My left, that'll be ZDDK, Morrison's, and then Soyuz.
Well, first and foremost, I think that the crisis is because of, well, we let the war go up to our brains. We should have taken it more calmly, and we should have taken it more slowly. I know war is it's drastic times for that requires drastic measures, but it's also important to not rush our ideas here. But since we are in this topic, I do see much more necessity into investing into better grinding infrastructure than into getting more people to grind. It's not worth it if you're having 10 people when you're grinding at just a fraction of of peak efficiency. It's best if we first find a way to allow a more efficient way to grind than to just hire more people.
Morrison's?
To answer your question, what to do with the economic crisis, I think my answer would be to do exactly what I've been doing since taking over as economic minister, which is generating vast amounts of money, getting people to grind, encouraging people to grind, investing in infrastructure like CTK mentioned, right? We have, since in the last 2 months since I've taken over as the economic minister, we've turned the economic crisis around. Since the start of January, we have produced $2.5 million. Soyuz and I yesterday produced XP potions, which equal 1.2 million. Mr. Nice over there waited 2 months for a single penny of the debt that he gave us to be paid off. And since I've taken over, we paid off $1.5 million of his debt. We now went from $200,000 in saving to $1.1 million in savings at the moment. And this isn't even from cashing in the XP brews, which are still aging, which will be done straight after this debate. The answer, if we want to continue the economic situation as it is and continuing to grow the economy as it is growing, is to re-elect the people which are delivering that economic prosperity at the moment, which is my leadership with the help of everyone around me. That would be my answer to your question.
Soyuz?
He's
I think
filming.
I'd have to agree with both ZTK and Morrison's to a degree. We've been doing our best as a nation to ensure that funds keep flowing, but it's been difficult. But lately, both me and Morrison have been working on a brewing incentive. If I wanted to prevent the economic collapse that was occurring after the war, one thing that I would have done is ensure that we have a steady flow of ways to make money that wasn't entirely reliant on shop rotation, so that we would have a continuous supply of funds. But I also wanted to create a material stockhold, which is what I did for brews at the very least. I held a certain amount of barrels of brew stuck and static in its area so that if we were in need of those brews, we would be able to use them. Now, me and Morrison are working on a very large supply of brews that we can also use to stockpile once again, that we can also use to sell and generate funds. By creating these ways of making money that CDTK mentioned, these methods, the infrastructure to grind properly, we are able to turn the economy back around. But we need to create the infrastructure. For example, in Hyperslavia very early on, I built an XP factory while cactus farming was still somewhat good. And we managed to make an okay amount of XP while it was still viable. When things started to change, I wanted to procure a good recipe for producing XP because the ones that we've had are quite bad. So I did that, and now we are working on expanding our XP factory to produce barrels upon barrels of XP for the nation.
So, one of the premier candidates, Duck, unfortunately can't participate. So I'm inviting Sicilian if he wants to take Duck's place for this debate.
Oh, he put his hands up.
Is Sicilian in
No,
game?
I invited him. He has not put his hand up. I mean,
Is-
we can put
No,
TTS.
Siciliano has his hands up. It says it right there.
Guys, we have
No, yeah,
TTS,
but that's for invite.
if just
OFC,
nobody
I get put in the fucking spot. Alright, fine.
Language.
Okay.
Yeah. So
We could also just use TTS, but
just in case if you weren't listening, Sicilian, the question is, how would you have handled
Oh, there he is.
this that hit Thalvian after the war?
Let's bring the
Is
TTS bot here.
Is Sicilian going to be
so
in
if
game?
they need TTS
Okay,
bot,
we
then
have TTS
what
bot.
is
We
the
have
point?
TTS bot.
But then what is the point of Sicilian talking and okay.
Well, it's because there's nobody else from the monarchists here in VC, I
Well,
believe.
no. Builder is
No, but
here,
like-
and Sicilian,
Yeah,
can you
James
get in
is here.
game?
Let him talk.
Oh, I didn't see. My bad.
Siciliano. Bro, I am surprised as you are I am speaking. Can you get in game?
Well,
I'd say just if both can talk, then just let James talk. Just
Fine,
yeah,
let James
okay,
type
bye,
it.
Sicilian.
Goodbye, people.
But
No,
Person
James-
in
James-
manual wheelchair
God
facing,
damn
right?
it.
Like-
Okay, come back, Sicilian.
Sicilian, can you get in game? Yes or no?
Yes, I am getting on.
In the meantime, Soyuz, could you move to your podium to your left? CTK, move to your podium to your right. I'm going to stand next to you, Soyuz, and can someone break the middle podium? Because then that will have.
No, Morrison, I think it's best if you came to this one because you're the left, because you're the most
standing
left-leaning
here.
candidate.
Okay, then you move
Okay.
over one. Move over one.
No.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm not the most right-leaning candidate, so
Oh no,
I'm over here.
yeah, neither am I. Go,
Wait,
go,
stand-
you go to
It
your
doesn't
left.
matter
If
about
it's
the
going to be a
placement.
few
Just have
minutes, there is a
take a
40
spot.
player
Okay,
key.
stand there. Blaze, stand over that side and someone break the middle podium, because that way there is someone behind each podium. So can Blue, could you break the middle podium?
Uh-oh.
Sicilian's in Q40, goddamn.
Break the middle podium. Thank you. Right. Great. Sicilian can answer questions when he gets
I'm
here.
cooked.
Alright, you can answer the question even if you're not in game. How would you have handled the economic crisis that hit Thalvian after the war?
To handle the crisis, I relatively like how it was handled. With the increase in grinding and all that was good. But I don't like so much how the military was handled.
Is that your final response, or do you have anything else to
No,
say?
he's still. Isn't he still
He's
typing?
he stopped typing.
Yeah, he's still typing.
Should I talk
Can
on
we
military?
put a sign there
No. It's fine.
where
Sure,
Sicilian
if
should
that's
be?
Or
fair.
just economy?
Well,
No, the
did you
question's
answer my
economy,
question?
it's
Yes or
not
no?
army.
That's answer my question. Yes or no? You can't talk about it if you want.
Yes, I did like how economics went after the war.
All right. So Bato have inserted a new rule where you have 2 minutes max to talk about each subject.
Yeah, I
That's
don't
gonna
want
be
this to be
difficult.
dragged on too long. This
Yeah.
needs to be quick. If you
Okay.
don't have quick responses, then
LMFAO.
it's your
Let me
problem
get-
if you don't have quick responses.
Let me quickly. All right, I got the timer ready. All right, for the second question, which will be directed at ZTDK, the second question is: there's been a lot of expansion with 2 new Commonwealths and expanding Elskagard almost back to its former size. Do you think we should try to consolidate or continue our expansion? You got 2 minutes.
I see. Like, although consolidation sounds nice, we don't have any big societal problems with integrating more Commonwealths. Like, as far as I know, Fanduria integrated nicely, and as far as we can see right now, Sucref is also integrated nicely. We don't have any rebel groups. We don't have any militias against the government. I understand that this is not this is not the like common type, but if this is if this is our norm, then we should be more focused on expanding than focused on uh, cultural consolidation.
Morrisons, you have the same question starting now.
I think expansion is obviously on the table. I think any power who is willing to engage with us and is interested in joining Thalvian should have the right to do so. Just like we did with Valskagard, just like we did with Flandiria and Sukraf. I believe Oldenburg has expressed wish to possibly join us in the coming months. The thing I am concerned about, and it's the thing from Sicilian's party and Dimitri's party, the concern is to expand militarily when we are not economically ready to do it, and when sending threat got us into the war like we did over the summer, and how close that came to tearing this nation apart. As Luke will know, with terrible mistakes during the war that happened in Auskagard that almost tore his Commonwealth apart. It's about the way in which we expand is the key. That will be all.
Same question will be asked to Soyuz now, beginning now.
I believe that further expansion of the empire can prove to be a good for the country. But I do think we have to understand what we're doing it for, why, and when. Currently, what we would be doing it for is to expand our reach. But why would we need to expand our reach when we already have a very cohesive empire? An empire that is the most stable in the region, potentially, ignoring outside forces, of course. When we would do it, definitely not now, especially when we're still recuperating economically and when there are currently empires surrounding us that are several times richer than we are, especially now that Abexilas has allowed for war to happen in between continents. And Talasi, the continent that we're a part of, is right in the middle, which means every single continent that surrounds us could declare war on us. Every single continent around us could invade. So I don't think we need to show ourselves as aggressors. especially when we're not in the correct zone to do so. So while I think it could be a good to expand the empire, I don't think it should be a priority, especially now.
Since Sicilian decided to type his answer early, I'll read it for him. Sicilian says, I think
Okay.
continuing expansion is perfectly fine as long as new commonwealths don't bring us conflict. Zugreth is a great addition to Thalvian, decentralizing us from just one area. Does Sicilian want to add anything else to that?
No, that's all.
For the third question of the debate, it is, what would your general plan for Thalvian be? And we'll start with ZDDK.
The general thing that I wish to see in this 3 months from now on is to see more active people. I think our greatest issue, the greatest issue that we have right now, is the lack of activity. Like, our parliament is filled with half of our MPs aren't active, pretty much, and most of them only come on for the parliament and leave, and then we don't see them for the rest of the week. We even have some MPs who don't even log on anymore. They pretty much left Stoneworks. The problem on our nation isn't a someone trying to war us, isn't a debt crisis. Our problem right now is the lack of activity. And there is no easy way to do it. There is no easy way out. You have to either you have to either yeah, recruit lots and lots of people. It's a very stressful, repetitive, and slow work. I have to say, Doug has been a great recruitment ministry. He has done his job very well. I don't mean to blame him when I say that our problem is activity. No, I'm saying that it's a hard job. Me personally, I couldn't do it. It's the amount of people you have to keep talking. If it's stressful, but we should focus on either finding a way to let our government work with less bureaucracy, so it isn't so hindered by inactive people, or we need to find a way to replace those inactive people easily.
Okay, that's
Well,
2 minutes.
Nope. It was 1 second left.
Holy
Alright,
shit, I timed it right.
It was
Yeah.
literally on the 2 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Morrison.
do you mind, Askers, just repeating the question? I was answering a phone call.
Yeah, it's fine. The question is, what is your general plan for Thalvian if you are elected as premier? Beginning now.
Okay, similar to ZTK, but with a few alterations. With activity, yes, we can all do with more activity. We can always recruit more. Generally speaking, though, on activity levels, we've been okay. There's normally quite a few people in VC. Normally, we have quite a few people grinding. Of course, we want to make that much higher, but from where we were 2 months ago, when no one done anything really, we are in a much better place. The difference with activity is we really need to crack down and fix inactivity within our government, within high ranking officials, within MPs. And the thing that I generally want to do is introduce a brand new constitution which makes it nearly impossible for inactive people to run for high office, to introduce a system where citizens who are active are rewarded and citizens who aren't do not have extra privileges. That's what we really need to do. We need to reward people who are active and discourage people who aren't, but also make a system so if you are someone who is becoming active over time, you get benefits from it. A system based on merit instead of the system that we have now.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. Soyuz, what is your general plan for Thalvian if you are elected as premier, starting now?
Okay, I'll give you my plan real quick. The core values of the Mushatin Liberation Council, which is the party that I lead, are continued industrialization of the nation, which needs a smooth nation to run. If we continue to have inactive people in government, such as the vast majority of our ministers have been, we will never run smoothly as a nation when we try to be a centralized nation. If the center of control is not smooth, the entire thing is not going to run well. So we need to ensure an active government. We also need to ensure the facets of grinding and activity are there. To retain activity, we can provide incentives to continue to be active. We can also give them things that will sort of push them into activity. That's not necessarily just you get rewards if you're active. More so, you get to do some cool things if you're active. For example, I want to really host the Thalvian Games, a few weeks of different sport events like PvP, horse racing, bow, archery, sumo, all those things in spread over a few weeks in such a way that anyone could really join from any time zone, or from most time zones, at least in Thalvian. So I want to ensure activity. I want to ensure in the continued industrialization of our nation, and I want to ensure that all the people's rights within the nation are also set in stone. Our nation can only run smoothly if we care for its people. That
Is that
is
all?
my view, Thalvian. That is all.
Alright. Sicilian? Start typing now.
Repeat the question.
For fun. The question is, what
Lol.
would your general plan be for
Don't
Thalvian if
type if
you
you're
are
not
elected?
Sicilian.
Okay.
Person
What
in
would
manual wheelchair facing, right?
what would your general plan be for Thalvian if you're elected premier? Starting now.
Oh, I want to reform the military and bring back military trainings.
We are doing military trainings
Just like
under
we did in old Illyria.
as a little bit of a fact check, we are doing that under RNI. With the why they're in order.
I am talking more weekly.
Well, I think they're doing it bi-weekly.
And more independent trainings. Not just under another nation. We should have our own.
He left the stage. Okay, he's back.
Plus, people need to have good wages, and these things need to be checked up on.
Is that all, Sicilian?
Does the army provide wages?
Yeah. It should.
Oh, okay.
Well, for the fourth and final question, or at least that I'm going to be asking, it's what would be your main criticism of each other's plan? Not a complete list of everything you find may be wrong, but just the most major issue. ZDTK?
Well, I do have to uh, say really nice stuff about Morrison's and Sawyer's plans, but about Sicilian's army plans, I see no real reason to invest so much into our army. Don't get me wrong, our army is important. It's one of the main parts of our nation, but we don't need to keep the paranoia of we need to keep our army ready. We need to be ready for war when we have the Withering Order to protect us, the largest military alliance in Apex. I see no reason in supersizing the army so much. Our issues are economic and the fact that our high gov doesn't lock on. Our issues aren't the army nowadays. It could be better, yes, it could, but it's not. It shouldn't be our focus. It shouldn't be our main priority.
Right. Morrison? Morrison?
Sorry, people keep ringing me. Just before I answer, are we going to have a after this? Are we going to be able to respond to each other's points? Is that I've lost where we are because I keep getting
Yes. After opponents ask each other questions. So this is just what the question for this is: what would be your main criticism of each other's plan? Not the complete list of what you everything you find wrong, but just the major issue you find.
Okay. Well, I don't really have criticisms for ZTK and Soyuz. Out of the debates, we've had good conversations about what we want to do, and us three here, work very closely together on Thalvian's economics, and we speak almost every day, and we do our best. The criticism has to go to the United Monarchist Party. It has to go to Builder. It has to go to Sicilian, and I will open more criticisms in a minute when we're able to ask each other questions. But the biggest criticism I have for them is they talk about inactivity, they talk about reform, they talk about fitness in the nation, and yet we hardly see them. They very rarely come to Parliament, they never show up to grindings, they never go to military trainings. Other than the Minister for Recruiting, their party is full of people who, by and large, are inactive whilst benefiting from those who are active and who contribute to the nation. That's my biggest issue I have with the Monarchist Party. With the exception, as Soyuz is saying, of the Minister of Recruiting. But Soyuz.
So
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. What would be your main criticism of each other's plan? Not a complete list of everything wrong, but just the major issue. Go.
Okay. I don't want to dogpile, of course, on Siciliano and his party because that kind of it just feels mean, if I'm going to be completely honest. But Morrison is correct that I am working closely together with ZTK and Morrison's. But I do think I haven't seen much of worth of work done by the Monarchist Party, except for Demetrius. I wanted to truly see what their party is capable of doing, but they haven't really showed much for it. There have been attempts, like let's take ZTK for example. He's been in this nation for a few days and has already helped make over 1 million gold for the nation. Morrison's has been premier before, and he's shown great efforts and strides in that premiership. I'm not going to gloat about myself, of course, but I have done some things that I would at least myself call good. I think I've been doing my best for the nation. But with the monarchists, of course, once again, except for Demetrius, I haven't seen much of that party. And I wish I would have seen more. I would have liked to see more. Because at the end of the day, we are one nation, one unified people that need to come together to help the nation strive. There's no point if some of us are not doing it, if some of us are not feeling it, if some of us are not pushing themselves to help. That's my main criticism of their party. I wish they showed up more.
So, for Sicilian, the question would be, what would be your main criticism of each other's plan? Not a complete list of everything wrong, but just the one major issue. Go.
If someone else types while Sicilian is speaking, by the way, I will time you out.
Oh no, but it's only if someone on stage types. Like other people can type and it doesn't. And the TTS bot doesn't say.
All right. Okay.
It's only stage people.
Okay, so just don't type them. Please.
What?
I think the one major issue with this Rainbow Coalition is that they may do great good, and I have to commemorate their efforts to help, but previous governments have affected the nation in negative manners, and we need something new to come to fix it.
Is that all? Because you got 10 seconds left.
Yeah, sure.
So with that, we'll begin the second stage of debate, which is opponents ask each other questions, and because Sicilian kind of got dogpiled on the last question, I'll allow him to go first.
Well, there
This is
isn't much there isn't much issue I see with
CTK.
by
no,
oh,
TDD.
my bad.
It's
Oh, I didn't
Sicilian.
hear.
It's Siciliano first.
Sicilians come first, buddy.
Oh, I
Morians,
didn't know.
what are your
I'm
plans
sorry.
as
I'm sorry.
Premier for foreign relation building?
For foreign relation building, well, I think we have to maintain and strengthen our relationship with Aranai, of course. And I want to look at Oldenburg joining the Union. But other than that, I don't really have many great foreign policy plans. I don't see foreign policy as being a big part of my premiership at the moment. What I do want to do is point someone for once who actually does foreign policy. We seem to have a habit of appointing ministers who are either uninterested or just don't care or know nothing about foreign policy. And this time around, I want to choose someone who actually knows what they're doing and enjoys foreign policy. And that's going to be my main thing. And then let them figure it out from there. Let them come to me and go, this could be good for our nation. Work closely with Barto. As we know, as Premier, other than the appointment of the Foreign Minister, foreign policy is handled by Barto, and I only need to be consulted on it. I just want to give someone who's going to be an asset to Barto instead of a hindrance.
So, Soyuz, do you have any questions for any other person in the debate?
I'm only allowed to ask one question, right?
One
No,
question,
you
and
can't.
then at the end we can go through any of the others.
Okay,
So just
I
right now.
would say that I would like to give a question to Siciliano parties, actually. The question is, what are your plans for establishing the ability for people in the nation to grind properly? And how will you set everything up to ensure that we can still produce for our economy? Because you've talked a lot about the military, but not really much about the other stuff.
Wouldn't that just be related to machinery and manufacturing? From cactus farming and XP grinding to make sets to following shop rotations, which currently would be fishing and kelp farming.
That's cool, but how would you do the XP grinding? Where will you build the facilities for it? What kind of facilities? Because, for example, cactus farming is not really doable anymore because of how slow cactus has been growing. Oh, cool.
Don't we have one in Skodra? Plus there are special brews which I believe you yourself know how to make.
Yeah, that's correct, but that's
XP
like my
brews.
plan. Do you have any?
We could look to trade with other nations for these things, as well as that also would help to grow foreign relations.
And I'll ask Sicilian to finish off, and then Soyuz, you can't further press him about this.
We could even look to join the UNO market sharing system. That's all.
Good. So,
All right.
Morrison, what
Hello.
would be one question
Mary.
you have for that person?
See, I have so many questions that lead to a major point. Am I able to ask a few questions if the answers are brief? If they're short questions, they're brief questions.
I
They're
guess.
not like long.
I
I have a
guess I'll just-
question, not to any party here. First is my first question. If you're in the audience, could you, or in the stage, could you type I, or stand up if you were playing in Thalvian during the war and you supported the war effort through financially grinding or fighting on the front line? If you were in the nation, stand up. Missy and I, stand up. So you were definitely in the nation, or type I in the group chat if you were here during that time and you supported them. Okay, great. Cecilian, where were you? Because you were not here. As a great person for advocating for the military to have more training and to be more powerful, and for someone who has always advocated for the military and loves the military and thinks we should be a military powerhouse, where were you during our darkest hour? Because I was here, Mr. Nice was here, Soyuz was here, Teslav was here. Where were you?
Wait, Morrison's. Demetrius is back. Should we switch them out?
No, Soyuz is here at the moment.
No, if Duck acts.
All questions will be rerouted.
Okay.
Well, Soyuz can still answer my question. Sicilian
Oh,
can
you mean
still answer this
Siciliano?
question. Yeah, Sicilian can still answer this question until I move on to Demetrius. And I would argue, ask us, can I compel Sicilian to answer the questions? Because the question I want to ask him are based on what he said on behalf of the party. Does that make sense?
Yep,
Statements he's
yep.
made. Thank you. Demetrius can come in at a later date.
I'll restart the timer once, like, the thing gets... Duck, Sicilian, do you want... Sicilian, you have to answer the question, basically. I'll
Good
restart the
night.
timer. I'll restart the timer once you, start typing. Okay.
Where were you in our darkest hour, Sicilian? Where were you?
Please.
Sorry.
I don't need a
Yes,
long
that's your
monologue.
I was taking my trimesters, to be honest with you.
Okay, wasn't everyone else? But we'll move on from there. Sicilian, you talked about making sure workers need to be paid and paying special attention to looking after workers. During the last shop rotation, how much were we buying a stack of hay bales off our workers for?
$530, I believe.
No, it was $1,000. Do you know how much we were buying bone blocks off our workers for to help us during the last grinding session? During the last shop rotation?
$780.
Well, that's way above market value. But it was $350 above market value still, but not $780. Do you know how much we pay soldiers every time they show up to a training session? Do you know?
No, I don't.
No. Do you know where soldiers would need to go to do training? Do you know where soldiers need to go to do training?
Wasn't it in Irani?
Yeah, there's a Discord. Do you know the name of that Discord? In fairness, I shouldn't comment because I need to now find the Discord.
Isn't it just the Thalvian military Discord?
No, we joined the Aranize Alliance Discord that we have with them. Do you know what organization was set up so our military people can be hired as mercenaries? Do you know when that was set up and what it's called? Or how to access it?
Vanguard.
Not anymore. It's a new one that was set up.
Made by Healy.
Yes, but we've got a new one that's been set up with a different name. See, Sicilian here has stated that he cares for Sicilian here since a few months ago. Sicilian here talks about caring about the military and caring about how much workers are paid and how much they're treated, and yet he cannot answer a single fundamental question on the armed forces. The answer to how much they get paid, by the way, is 2,500 per training session, right? We're in one of the world's largest organizations. They control a training server. That's where we go and do our training. You say that your party wants to make sure that workers are being paid fairly and that you pay special attention to how much we're paying workers. Well, because you don't grind, you don't know how much our workers get paid. So how can you claim you want to make sure workers are getting paid and get paid well when you don't even know what they're getting paid now? If you were to sell a pickaxe to me at the forge, do you know how much money you would get per pickaxe?
So I'm giving you an extra 30 seconds because it's a lot of questions.
Sorry.
That's fine.
If you were at the forge.
2,300. I believe.
$2,200, but close. What about armor sets per item? How much is it at the forge?
2,500.
No, it's $1,000. How are we supposed to believe you on the economy if you can't answer these basic questions? If I asked CTK or Soyuz this question, they would have known the answer. Askus would know the answer because these people engage with the economic system we've created. You talk about the economic system like you use it. The answer is you don't. And you think you can stand up here and lecture us about the way in which to fix a country.
I do other jobs.
Sure you do. That'll be all my questions.
Do you have anything to respond with, Sicilian? Anything else?
Oh, I disconnected. Did anyone else disconnect, or was that just me?
You can TP it to me.
I would gladly show how I make my money to anyone that would like to.
Alright, that will be the end of Morrison's question. ZTDK, do you have any questions for anyone on this debate? So now the question would be now directed to Duck, unless you want to direct it to Sicilian.
Yeah, okay. I can ask questions to Duck. Well, look, as we know, you've been a great mentor for this nation. You worked a lot, tirelessly actually, for recruitment, and we've seen some good come out of your administration. But do you and does your party have the proper policies and the proper ideas to sustain a premiership? Because I know you as a person, you are capable, but I'm asking more about your party. What are your policies? What are your plans? Come on, I want to hear it. You were the monarchists were the only party who haven't published a manifesto.
Sorry, is anyone else lagging really badly, or is it just me?
I think it's just you.
I spoke about my policies in the interview.
Well, yeah, but you said you answered the questions. But like, I understand you did a nice job in the interview. I saw the interview. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. But for example, the Greens here are focused more on economy. They want to see a better economy. The Moshatin Council, they wish to see an expansion in infrastructure. Same with the TDF. We want to see better infrastructure. We want to see more builds being here in the circle. From as far as I know, your focus is foreign policy. I'm pretty sure. Would you mind just giving the? Do you mind just making me sure about that? Is it foreign policy? Is your focus army? It maybe even.
My focuses are foreign policy, economy, recruitment, infrastructure.
Oh, okay then. That's what I wanted to hear. It's good to see that your party isn't just trying to do the famous do it all politician. And yeah, that's it, Esses. You may continue.
So, does anyone here want to ask any further questions to their opponents?
I might.
Morrison? Okay. You want to ask any questions?
Am I the only one?
I have.
You have an
Yeah,
entire
I will have
document.
questions, but sorry, I will have questions. But if Soys wants to go first, he's more than welcome to.
Oh, for me, it doesn't really matter that much. If you want to go first, you can go.
Fine.
Okay, do you have any
Demetrius.
questions?
Demetrius, then, do you have full confidence in every member of your party who is running for MP?
Also, keep in mind every single time you ask a further question, I pause the timer and then restart it once you stop speaking.
Do I have
full confidence in every single candidate who is running in your party for MP in this election? Do you trust them implicitly? Do you believe in their abilities to be good MPs and possibly ministers? Do you have full confidence?
I have?
And are any members of your political party, are they going to become ministers in your government?
Yes, Sicilian.
Anyone else? Other than Sicilian?
130.
130.
130?
Do you want me to put in what's the current timer, or do you just want me to tell you when
Just tell us when.
it ends? Okay.
And Soviet Vice Minister.
For Vice Minister for what?
Foreign Affairs, he has good negotiation skills.
Would you appoint anyone from your party to these following positions? Defence Minister, Economic Minister, Infrastructure, Culture and Recruiting.
No.
No. Is that because there are better, more suitable candidates for those roles? In your view?
I don't understand.
Okay. I'll ask you this question. If you have full confidence in all of your candidates, why do you not have the confidence that they can do the other jobs? Why instead are you picking people from other parties who don't support you to do those jobs? Because we aren't just electing you. You forget the role of the Premier is mainly a domestic role, not a foreign policy role. So why are we going to be electing you if you have no confidence in any of your members to run the economy, the military, infrastructure, culture, or recruiting? 80% of the government you do not have confidence in your people running. Foreign affairs, something that isn't even really your main job. Yeah, sure, your people can go there. But for 80% of the government, you have none of your candidates as suitable choices for that. That's interesting. That's very interesting. That's all my questions.
I'll allow Duck to respond and then get on to any other questions.
Because I believe the other people are more suitable for certain positions in a government, everyone must work together.
This message will be your final one. Or this question. Duck, are you gonna write your second message or are you done? If you do not respond within 15 seconds, I'll answer that as a no.
He was busy typing a text, so I think he's still typing it. It's just not showing.
We'll wait 15 more seconds.
Oh, there he goes. He's typing.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Oh, so you did not have a second message to complete off your first, or... Alright, so we're just gonna
What?
move... Okay, so we're just gonna move on to Soy's question, which would be...
I
So
feel like
you
we're
said...
asking. I feel like we're asking a lot of questions to the monarchists now and Demetrius, and that's good. It's good that we're asking and are being very critical. I would like to, in turn, not a form of criticism, but more of a curiosity to Morrison's. There are a lot of people in this nation that have a somewhat potentially either warped or in general negative view of you. Mostly referring to you as a person, not necessarily in your leadership abilities. They just don't like you necessarily. And my question to you was, what do you have to say to those people? Because at the end of the day, when you get elected, you will also represent them. What would you like to extend to those people?
Yeah, I think that's a very good question and very valid. I think, first of all, I want to just point out that I think I've always, whether I have had personal grievances with people or whether people dislike me or so on for whatever reason, I always feel that if they need something or they want me to help me work on a project, my personal view does not impact that at any stage. I work with many people who I don't necessarily like, who don't necessarily like me all the time. And when elected, like I said, when I was elected for the first Premier in my maiden speech, we are a nation built completely on a community of friends, and defending that is the most important thing. And so I will continue that through if re-elected. We are diverse, and that's what makes us great. But yeah, I think what you said is completely true. I can be a complete asshole at times. I can be very snappy, very mean, very rude. Sometimes I don't mean to be. Sometimes I do, and in some cases, I apologize. And in some cases, I don't, and I mean what I say. That's just unfortunately who I am, and some people get upset with that, and I'm sorry for them. But my key thing is I get things done, and that rubs people the wrong way because not everyone can win. I mean, I think yesterday I very rudely and unnecessarily shouted at Z's CTK. He can attest to this. And I phoned him afterwards and I apologized. So I apologize for that to him. But I think you're right. That criticism is fair, but I'm just going to own it.
All right.
Does anyone else have any questions to ask? Duck, do you have any questions to ask anyone? No one has any further questions?
I do.
No,
I do
I
have.
don't.
I do have one question, if you don't mind. That I just thought of.
Yeah, you can go.
Hilda and Sicilian, you guys have criticized heavily for the inactivity of FMRG, his his premiership, and the way he got elected as well by messaging and contacting lots of inactive people to vote for them, and then remaining inactive afterwards.
I do not recall saying that, Morrison.
Do you agree that FMRG has been mainly an inactive premier? Then I'll ask the question now. It's a simple yes or no answer, really, Demetrius. Yes, he has been inactive. No, he hasn't.
On his second term, he has been.
And do you agree with the criticism that was laid against him in the last election of messaging lots of inactive people so he could win re-election? Do you agree with that criticism, or do you think that's unfair?
Yes.
Why then, many people have reported to me that your party has for weeks been bringing inactive people into the Discord and messaging lots of different people who are inactive to vote for you. Do you think you therefore are hypocritical for blaming FMRG for his inactivity and the way in which you got inactive people to vote for you, whilst you do the same during this campaign? Most people who voted for you in the opinion poll are not very active at all.
And what does that mean that I texted them?
Just saying, if you criticize FMRG for doing that, aren't you criticizing yourself?
I didn't text people to vote for me on the opinion poll. They were on the server of the party and heard that the TMM would merge with my party and that I would be the premier candidate.
But you agree most of those people are inactive. And if you want to criticize this previous government for inactivity using inactive people, isn't that a contradiction of your entire message?
Yes, some are.
Okie dokie.
This one final message from Duck would be the end of this question. Duck, do you have a response or no?
Don't think so.
Yep, you're gonna take that as a no.
I do have a question.
All right. Would you want to levy it at? What is the question, Duck?
He's typing it. That's good. And then we should probably move on to everyone else, right?
Yes. After this question, we will.
Allows me to make a cup of tea.
It's probably gonna be you, so you should probably make that quick.
I imagine this question will be targeted at me.
Yeah.
I'll go after.
Morrison's at the end of the second elections, did you text a party to tell their whole members and who voted for them change your position in the ranked voting to second so that you can win against FMR? G. Last elections.
Yeah, I did. I messaged inactive people and people to vote for me in a specific order. But I've never criticised FMRG for doing the same, or you for for you for doing the same. Every party messages inactive people to vote for them and to change around the way in which they vote for them. I don't criticise them
You've
for that.
criticised me, Morrison's.
I've criticised you for your criticism of FMRG whilst doing the same thing. I haven't stood here and gone, Demetrius, your party is wrong for messaging inactive people. I've asked you, do you think it's wrong that FMRG does it? And you said yes. And then I've said, then that's you being hypocritical because you do the same thing. I don't think it's wrong to message people who are citizens on Discord and say, hey, can you vote for me in this election? That's fine. That's how politics works. It's how we always do it. We all do it. But I don't criticize other parties for doing that. You do. That's what makes you a hypocrite in this scenario, not me. Should we move on then to everyone else?
Beck, do you have any further, follow-up question or no? If you don't respond in 15 seconds, I'm gonna take that as a no.
No.
Okay. So we will now be doing everyone can ask questions, Bato, and the audience. Just put it inside the Parliament stage message and I'll direct it over.
Chairman, or whatever your role is, should we invite all the other people who want to run for MP up onto the stage just so they can, in case any questions about them, or let them say their thing?
Yes,
So we're just the leaders of the
If
party.
the question is directed at them, then we'll invite them up on stage.
Doom, Hills, Mr. Nice, come up, come and stand next to all these podiums. Mr. Nice.
Why?
Because you're running for MP, aren't you? You put in your application.
Yes, I'm running for MP.
There you
So
go.
where should I stand?
Just stand behind the podium. Doom's in my play. You can stand next to me. Hills, if you're running, you can.
Sorry,
I don't know if
Blue.
Hills is
Okay.
in.
Move,
Hills,
okay.
maybe
Please.
one in the
Move
back.
Yeah, no, Hills, just stand next to Soys. It's fine. Not Hills. I meant Mr. Nice. Hills, are you in game? Do you wanna? Because I know you're applying tomorrow, but you can. If you're going to apply, you can
Mr.
come
Nice,
on.
what party are you?
I'm independent.
No, okay, then stay there.
I have something to say. I'm gonna be in VC, but I might not be on Parliament because I have been called to war. I'm gonna help Healy fight a little battle somewhere. So I will quickly don my armor. But I am still available for questioning. If I could, I would place like a block here.
Soys,
you,
go and join the different VC of Healy. It'll be better.
Okay.
That is a better job for you.
Local Filipino, stand behind me because you're the same party as me.
Alright, so Hills has asked. My ask is if any of the premier runners could/would vote different candidates, which one would it be?
No, behind me. Filipino, me.
Just go in Filipino. Stand where I stood because that's an empty thing. Okay. Sorry, ask us the question.
Hills has asked, if any of the premier runners could/would vote different candidates, which one would it be?
At Prince Morrison's of Thalvian I be nay in game lad.
I would, if I could not vote for myself, I would abstain from voting in this election. I don't think any premier candidate is ready to take the office, unfortunately. So I would not vote.
Quickly, sorry everyone for interrupting, but I just quickly want to point out, I would appreciate for in this debate, please, I would appreciate for in this debate to use proper standard English.
Ask us. Barto's speaking. You should be quiet. You should never speak with Barto speaking and ask for silence.
Thank you, Moses. So I would like for everyone to speak proper standard English without dialect, please. Hills.
Yeah.
Otto isn't speaking. The fuck, he's muted.
That is just a target at Hills, by the way.
Have you seen what he wrote? He wrote in dialect. You don't have to write in dialect. You can write in proper English.
So, if you could vote for a different candidate, who would you pick?
Who would I pick? That's a good question. For what, Premier or MP?
Premier lot.
If you couldn't vote for your number one pick, what would your second pick be?
For Premier, I would probably be Demetrius. Actually, I think Demetrius would be my second pick. Because my first pick for Premier specifically is potentially going to be Morrison's, mainly because he is more experienced. He has a more coherent plan. But I think Demetrius wouldn't necessarily be a bad option because he does have some things that are interesting. So as Premier, I think he would be a solid choice. To be fair, there are only 3 options also. That's important to know.
Well, you can vote for theoretically anyone.
I guess, but they are the only ones willing to be a Premier.
Who, if you couldn't vote for yourself, assumingly, who would you vote for Premier?
Are you talking about me?
No, Duck.
Ah, okay. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna leave VC real quick.
What's up?
I'd vote Morrison's.
ZDK, are you here or not?
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
Okay. Who, if you couldn't vote for seemingly Morrison's or yourself, who would you vote for Premier?
There's only 2 Premier candidates. Or I can vote.
Like theoretically, you could vote for
anybody. Well, then it would be Luke, my party leader. I know Morrison is the best man possible for the Premier elections. That's why we didn't put forward anybody. But if I can't vote for neither myself nor Morrison's, then it would be Luke, somebody I trust and somebody who I know can get things done. So much so that I am his party representative here.
I'm gonna just interrupt and be really annoying. Luke constitutionally cannot be premier because he's a state ruler. So just to
Oh wait,
be,
really? Huh?
just to be annoying for you.
Wait.
As a leader of a commonwealth, you have to resign to become premier. You cannot become premier as leader.
Oh,
It's the
sure.
only government position that you cannot constitutionally cross over. So
Wait.
pick something else.
A member of the royal family could run for premier.
Yes, a member of the royal family can run for premier. Are there any other questions that can be levied at the
Quickly,
premiers
actually,
or MPs?
I would also like to state with that, Hills, yes, they can run for premier, but a member of the royal family doesn't have any written power. A
He's
state ruler does.
he's left the VC. He also isn't in the VC.
No other questions for premiers or MPs?
By the way, everyone has
Luke
crashed
has a
because the
question, Luke
server's
has a
being reset
question.
for war.
Look, what is your question? You can invite him up to stage.
Excuse me.
Let me put him on stage real quick.
What will you do as Premier about Elskegard's 10 chunk situation? Or as MP, sorry.
Directed at who?
I think it's everybody.
Anyone?
Everybody gets to see.
I guess we'll start with ZDTK.
Well, I think that the 10 chunk issues on both the East Bank and on Prisma, we should strive to actually fix it. On
Hi,
Prisma's
Swag.
case, Swag is here, huh? On Prisma's case, it's more or less money the problem, or they haven't been responding. It's something we can fix. But on the case of on East Bank, I have been talking with some of the high gov in Michigan to try to fix that issue. Actually, since I've been writing the ETU agreement, the Eastern Palace Union agreement, in which I'm trying to form a EU style body here in the eastern part of Tallahassee, and one of the requirements to join is that the signing member cannot have any pre-existing land problem with a member who is already in the group. So if whichever wants in, they would have to fix the problem, and there is no way to circumvent it.
All right. Alcohol Filipino. Filipino.
He's asking to repeat the question. I think he speaks on yes.
How would you deal with the 10 chunk problem in Elskegard?
If at all.
It was more of a premier question.
For the problem of the 10 chunk, it's been facing Asgard itself for as long as I can remember. Is practically since we've been on Stoneworks since Nova Estonia itself. We've had a problem with getting that land and maintaining it. At this point, it's not worth it. there's no resources left there. There's multiple multiple towns that have been abandoned, houses. The land itself is torn up. It's not worth it anymore to fight over or even keep.
Mr. Nice.
Yes, we will. Your answer is shop at home.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, as Filipino said, there are no resources left, but I wouldn't say it's all about the resources because Elsgagard is the nation of a very good person for me, for Rose, and I would guarantee to get the land back, even if it costs money. So, yeah, also for my good friend Luke. So, I would play around with my money to get the remaining chunks.
More sense?
Thank you, Luke.
As Luke is aware, where's Luke? Where is he? There you go. Hi, Pookie. As you're aware, we have recently just said that we're going to be buying those chunks back, so we can have the whole of type back. With the donations that you've been given, government's going to cover the rest. We've discussed it with the 10 chunk rule, Mitch. To be brutally honest, if they don't want to do it, there isn't anything we can do. But with our growing and bettering relationships with Mokria, who is controls East Bank and Phosphort and all that. With our better relationships with them, hopefully we'll be able to figure out some kind of agreement with them within the next 3 months. That's what I would hope to do, but I cannot promise you anything because if they say no, we're stuck. But that would be my hope.
Crafter.
Was mine who's there?
Yeah.
Sorry,
if you
what?
don't have anything, Doom, if you don't have anything on this issue, you can skip it. But yeah.
I do not have any a different opinion from Orson's. So there is no reason for me to speak on this.
Please.
What's up? What was the question? I wasn't here to hear it.
What would you do about the 10 chunk Elskagard problem?
I'm not fully informed on that issue, so I can't fully comment on it.
Can we please just not go every single one, but let those who want to answer? Maybe that would be
What would you do about
more time
Duck? What would you do about the 10 chunk Elskagard problem?
Not everyone has an answer. Ask us.
Not responding. There it is.
Sorry, Luke, did you see my message? Right, ask us, move on, different questions.
Yeah, different question, I guess.
I have a question.
Dangerous Barker asking political questions from a non-political figure.
Well, my question doesn't.
Am I deafened to all of you, or is it as Balto asking?
No, we can hear you.
We can hear you and we can hear Barto, but you can't seem to hear Barto. So have you muted Barto?
I believe we should try to resolve this through a meeting with Makava.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, Balto is 100% user volume, and I don't. Maybe we'll leave and rejoin quiet.
What's your question, Barto?
My question is directed not to the premier candidates, but to MPs. I only want people who are going for MP to answer this. What what do you wish to do with if you get your position? What is the first action you would want to take in this new government?
We'll start with Filipino.
What was the question? Can you repeat it?
What would you do if you're elected as MP?
Well, I have Luke contacted me just today about taking the role, so I don't have much planned just yet. Mostly, I feel like we should consolidate our position because we just faced a war. From what I can tell, I just recently came back from months of inactivity. Mostly just focus on rebuilding Elskgard and trying to get ourselves out of debt because from what I heard, it was pretty severe. Is that what an MP does? I don't know. I just got put into this position.
Mm. Does anyone want to answer this question? Anyone else?
I don't.
Sure, you can answer. What do you want to do as MP?
Well, the first thing, yeah. What do you mean what I would want to do, or the first thing I do? Because you asked both.
What would be the first thing you do as Premier? As a MP?
The first thing as MP I would do is because I'm not running particularly for any party, is I'd host a like meet up night at one of my pubs in Herbs Victorium and just really meet with the people of the constituency that I would be representing, because I feel that should not be the judge of an MP to represent mostly the party. The people of their constituency should come first, and whatever issues they have, I'll just those to the Parliament.
Right.
I
Does anyone
feel
else,
that'd be a best
does
answer.
anyone else want to answer? What is your question?
Could someone please? I don't want to be mean, but could someone please tell me what was just said?
Otto asked, what would be your first act as Premier?
Prime Minister.
No, I asked what would be your first act as
MP.
MP in
Sorry.
the new government? What would be the first thing you
Well,
would want
I
to
don't
do?
really have one first act I could execute.
Or
But what I would do
in general.
first is try my
Something in
very
general
best
you want
to
to get done.
better
Also,
the
So
what was it? You're supposed to keep talking, or
Yep.
what I would do is do my very best to better the economy and also lower the national debt. Debt is a dangerous thing. It can backfire very, very severely, and it's important to get rid of it while it's still possible. And for that, you need a strong economy with a good income stream and first also activity.
does anyone
But that would
else,
be my first priority. I'm done.
does anyone else wish to answer this question? Mr. Nice? No.
Yeah, well, that's a good question from Vato. I know that I want to be MP, but I don't know what my first action could or will be. I have no idea.
Does anyone else have any further questions for the MPs or premiers? Or potential?
Can I ask a question, even though I am here?
You can ask a question, yeah.
Okay, yeah. What will you do as MP about the Whitemore and Spruce Shell situation in Flandria?
About the what?
the Whitemore and Sprucia situation.
If anyone needs elaboration, I can help.
We might need some context on this.
Yeah, okay.
So-
Boom, I think you know more.
Yeah.
The Whitemore and Sprucia situation, to explain it in a short package, is that currently both Whitemore and Sprucia were former Flanderia claims, which are currently outside of our control. It is lost land, which was lost during the government collapse that we experienced before we joined Thalvian. And that is the situation. There's currently still lost and under control of a different nation, both Sprucia and Whitemore. We have already tried to arrange deals, but up until now, nothing has succeeded. So, and that is the current situation in a short little description.
I have a question. Do they want to be their own nation? Or do they want to be in another nation?
So this is a tricky question. Sprucia and Whitemore were first still in control of Iron Rose, and as far as I know, they are still in Iron Rose, technically, though the guy who owns them is a little bit uncontrollable, apparently. But as of now, they are still in Iron Rose, as far as I know, but don't quote me on this. It's a weird situation.
Does anyone wish to answer? 6
Well-
candidates too.
If anyone does, if no one else wants to answer, then I would.
Oh, you can answer right now.
This about the Sprucia and Whitemore situation. Currently, Iron Rose seems to be getting in a war with. Let me check this information before I tell you guys something that is wrong.
Boom, it's true. It's true. Whitemore is going to war in the future. Like,
Yes,
the
so
very
they're
close
currently
future.
going to war, and what we're going to try and do is see if this war goes wrong in any way. If we can find any way to get back Whitemore or Sprucia in that case, because it would be a great opportunity to get back lost land, which we lost through some very inconvenient and in some ways stupid circumstances.
To answer that question, to gain those land back, there's no simple answer for this, even especially in a war, because we ourselves are recovering, or are currently, we are recovering from a war ourselves. So to get more land through instability of another nation may spark another conflict that we simply aren't ready for. We're in debt. We need the new land we received needs to be cleared and rebuilt mostly, and it's a problem that needs to be answered. We lost land is a horrible thing. Experience I can attest to because of I was the mayor of the town that we had to unclaim during the Elskegard War or whatever happened there, and East Bank. It's a horrible thing that I wish upon no nation or no commonwealth, but there's not many options that we can do because talks, from what I heard, have failed. Nothing has came up from them. So unless some miracle happens through talks, I don't think we can get that land back just yet. Maybe
May I? Sorry.
You can go ahead.
Yeah, what I didn't. I think I forgot. I expressed myself in the wrong way there. What I didn't clarify is that in no way, shape, or form am I trying to start any kind of conflict with anyone, especially Iron Rose, since they are still in military alliances. This is a very small effort, let's say. This is definitely, but it does not have a big chance of succeeding, because, as you said, there's a high chance of a sort of conflict starting. And I do want to avoid that at all costs, seeing how we're still in national debt from a war. So starting any kind of war or conflict would definitely not be anything that would be in our interest.
Yes, because
do we have
sorry.
any final questions? Because we kind of got to wrap this up.
Any questions? Anyone? Hills, any questions?
Oh, yeah. Meredith, may I ask you something?
Yeah, of course.
Do you see it just that say hypothetically there was someone who was a prince of Thalvian to be able to run for premier, but a leader of a commonwealth can't run for premier?
Yeah, I think it's completely justifiable. The
I don't
Constitution does the Constitution does not outline any special powers or privileges for princes. It's just an honorary title. They have no political inherent political power. Luke has inherent political power because of his role, and so therefore he has to give up that political power to run for premier. I inherently have no political power because of my role, which is why I'm able to run for public office and be elected based on merit. Nowhere in the Thalvian Constitution does it say that I have special legal privileges to engage with the government because I'm a prince. I don't have that authority. So as I have no special authority, I therefore, in election terms, am treated just like anyone else.
Hypothetically, of course.
Oh my god.
No, yeah, hypothetically, of course.
What is it, Hills? Anything else? There's no other further questions, yes? Alright, I christen this debate over now. We can all go to VC if you want. I'll be taking a shower.
Sorry, can I just interrupt before we
Yes.
all go? If Blue allows us to, there is a lovely F1 Formula racetrack right under our feet down below. So I was wondering if we get some boats, would people like to do a Formula 1 race? It's a pretty nice track. If that's okay with Blue. Blue, is that okay with you?
I'm okay with it, but I don't know if it works because you're all not trusted in the claim.
Yes, that's true. Could you change the settings just then for a little bit, just if you want, just for this little
What's the action flag for it?
Yeah, you can change